Today on Studio One, clay from the earth has been made into pottery for centuries. We'll show you some special pottery that is worth much more now than when it was created. Also, staying in good physical condition usually requires exercising in your spare time. We'll see how a professional mover can mix exercise and work. And we'll tell you how rules in youth hockey protect younger skaters.
From the University of North Dakota with Monty Cashel and Beth Martin, this is Studio One.
Hello and welcome to Studio One.
Yes, thank you for joining us today. Well, the Oscars were recently on TV.
They were.
Did you watch them at all?
I didn't get a chance to.
I actually watched them, and when I was watching them, I thought, well, I'd go on the internet and find a few things about them anyway, just because, whatever. And what I found was kind of interesting because there's actually a website that's called Famous Oscar Blunders, and it lists all different things, like funny things that have happened to people at the Oscars, and a couple of them I thought were pretty funny, so I'm going to share them with you now.
Right.
Ready?
Go for it.
The Bodily Functions Award. These people gave to Kevin Costner, who confessed after the 1990 ceremonies that the Oscars made my pits wet. That's what he said. That was his big quote. And then another one was the Crack Me Up Award, and that was comedian Marty Feldman. He presented in 1976 a live-action short Oscar, and he said that he actually owed it to the two producers.
Right.
And so what he did is he threw the Oscar on the floor and it broke in half, and then he gave it to each producer, which was kind of funny. And he also commented on the bottom, it said, "Made in Hong Kong." So.
Just like a lot of other
That's
things.
right.
Well, this is a homemade show we have for you today, and a good one. It's important to be prepared when it comes to your health. Later we'll talk with someone who will show us the steps to securing your health care.
And making traveling plans is easier said than done. We'll talk with a travel agent who can offer tips to making our connections go smoothly.
But first, today's news with Molly Ouimet.
Thank you, Monty and Beth. A fugitive on the FBI's 10 most wanted list has been arrested. Police captured James Charles Kopp in France today. He has been indicted in a killing of an abortion doctor. Kopp shot and killed Dr. Barnett Slepian at his home in New York from outside the doctor's kitchen window in 1998. He has been on the run ever since. He was convicted by an Erie County, New York grand jury in 1999. Kopp faces a maximum penalty of life in prison on the murder charge. He also faces a maximum of 7 years on reckless endangerment and criminal possession of a weapon. An estimated 1,900 tons of oil has spilled into the Baltic Sea. The spill occurred last night after a collision between an oil tanker and a freight ship. 6 ships from Denmark, Germany, and Sweden attempted to contain the spill. The Coast Guard is saying this leak is one of the biggest they have seen. The spill will not evaporate because it is heavy oil. Heavy oil is a thick and sticky type of crude oil that does not flow easily. The cleanup operation was called off this afternoon because of high winds. Officials are worried that these winds might cause a huge oil slick if it reaches the coast of Denmark. Between 5 and 15% of Americans have some degree of dyslexia, and researchers have now found that English is one of the hardest languages for people with dyslexia to learn. Dyslexia is a reading disability where a person has trouble processing letters and words. There are different tools available to help people with this disorder. Dyslexia can sometimes be hard to notice because those who have it can be creative in gathering information in other ways.
A disability can be handicapping or disabling to a person in certain environments and not in others. So some people will naturally avoid weak areas.
Researchers say there are twice as many people with dyslexia in English-speaking cultures as in countries with less complex languages. Lawmakers are receiving so many email messages each day, they aren't finding enough time to read them all. Just last year, members of Congress were bombarded with about 80 million email messages. The result is an email overload in Congress. Different measures are being sought out to aid in the crisis. Congressional offices have decided to respond to email like postal mail in reply with stamped letters. The federal government is working to provide lawmakers with resources to buy new software and hire staff to respond to messages. Studies say it may cost each office $50,000 or more for the needed software. According to Mothers Against Drunk Driving, each year nearly 16,000 people are killed due to alcohol-related crashes. That high number has caused one university to take a unique approach to the problem.
At the University of North Dakota, a new deal has been made to try to decrease drinking and driving. This new agreement gives students the chance to take taxicabs anywhere in the city at any time for $1. This agreement was made between Grand Forks Taxi and the student government at the university. Through student fees, the student government pays $5 for each ride.
Initially, the idea was to curb drinking and driving, and then we decided it would be a wise idea to open it up to everyone in the school.
The owner of Grand Forks Taxi Company says this deal helps people stay away from drinking and driving.
If it's a choice between having some money for tomorrow or just driving home, they're going to drive home. There's no doubt about it.
Wessling says the service has attracted more riders than expected. The drivers themselves say they have noticed an increase.
I remember right before it started, we had a meeting, which we don't really have that often, an employee meeting, and it's like things are definitely going to get a little bit hectic now.
The students also seem to be satisfied with the new program. It gives them the chance to get a cheap ride.
I know there's plenty of kids out there that go out and have a good time and maybe have a little bit too good a time, and they try driving around and it's just not a good deal. So a lot of campuses should do it.
The program will run into the end of the year, but the student government hopes they will be able to get enough money to keep it going. I'm Shashti Lingvai reporting for Studio One News.
The Grand Forks Police Department says it is too early to know whether drinking and driving has decreased because of the program. But taxi drivers say they have talked to several intoxicated students who admit that they would drive if it was not for the cheap taxi. And that is news for now. Monty and Beth?
Thanks a lot, Molly. Well, you know what they say about April. April showers, May flowers, right?
Yeah.
So are we going to start getting rain?
I don't know. We'll check out the Regional Weather Information Center with Adam Caskey to see if we have any rain in our future.
Well, we may have some in the future, but I'll get to that in just a second. I was looking at the record books, and I'm starting us off today with the almanac data. So far today, we've seen a high of 39 degrees, a low of 33, and that low is actually fairly warm, and the reason for that is the cloud cover we've had. It acts as an insulator and blankets the earth at night and keeps us warmer. Average high today, 42. Average low, switch the 2 and the 4, and you get 24. Sunset, 6:45 p.m. The days are getting longer. Right now in Grand Forks, we're at a temperature of 39, dew point of 33, and the closer that temperature gets to the dew point, the higher your relative humidity. So right now we're at 79% relative humidity. Pressure is falling. Now, current temperatures around the region, I want to remind you, temperatures in southern Canada are in degrees Celsius, and throughout the U.S. are in degrees Fahrenheit. And 3 degrees Celsius roughly equals 38 degrees Fahrenheit. Now notice on this map how significantly warmer the areas are with sunshine. Minot, 52, sunny. Bismarck, 55 sunny. Rapid City, 52 sunny. Meanwhile, off to the east where it's cloudier, 36, 34, 37, much cooler under those clouds. As we fly up into our region, here are those clouds I was talking about over Minnesota. And again, it is partly cloudy west of Minot. On more of a national scope, big low pressure system down to the south, dumping rain from Florida all the way up to Maine, and there are a few snowflakes mixed in with that in the northeast. Moving on to Friday, looking at the forecast. We're going to be stuck right in between 2 weak storm systems, one just to our south and one to the north of us in Manitoba. What this will spell for us is more cloudy skies and about a 40 to 50% chance of seeing some precip. Now Friday in detail here in Grand Forks, we're going to top out right around 38 degrees with a low of 30, mostly cloudy skies, and here's that 40% chance of seeing some snow, most likely in the afternoon, maybe even on into the evening. For all your up-to-date weather, check us out on the internet at rwic.und.edu. That's it for now. Back to you, Monty and Beth.
All right, thanks, Adam. So looks can be deceiving. We can see, no sun, but then warm weather.
That's right. We like that blanket of clouds to cozy up to. Well, let's cozy up to our sportscaster. He's got some great news for us, James DeGelder.
Thanks, Monty and Beth. The biggest question for some of the best high school basketball players is whether to go to college or go straight to the pros. Well, last night, many of them got the chance to play one more time as seniors in the McDonald's All-American game before making that big decision. In the first, Bozeman throws the reverse that hits a shot clock but somehow goes in. East up 26-21. Second quarter, Childress misses the tough layup, but Tolbert's there to clean it up. Crowd gives him a 10. Third quarter, Ford feeds it to Curry, who finished with a slam. West wins 131-125. NHL action, St. Louis at Detroit. In the first, Stillman tips the puck past Osgood to tie the game up at 2. Third period, Larnoff gets a puck by Turk for the goal. Red Wings win 5-2. NBA action, Dallas at Portland. Bonzi Wells gets the rebound and gets the ball to Rasheed Wallace, who slams it home to give the Blazers an early 8-4 lead. Fourth quarter, Finley launches a 31-footer that just beats the shot clock. Dallas wins 94-84. Many workouts use a fast pace to achieve the desired results, but a newly popular training program suggests working out at an excruciating slow pace. This method, known as super slow, requires each repetition to last 14 seconds instead of the usual 7. Because each rep takes longer to complete, it's not possible to lift as much.
You really have to drop down the weight. You know, typically, even for a nice slow repetition, it's going to be 4 or 5 seconds per repetition. For this, we're talking, 12 seconds, 14 seconds. So your length of time is 2 to 3 times greater per repetition.
When using the super slow method in the knee bends, for example, each rep is done very slowly, ridding the muscles of any momentum. This makes the muscle work even harder at lesser weights. It's now time for the Studio One Sports Trivia question. This week's question is, what is the oldest professional sports team? Is it the Montreal Canadiens, the Cincinnati Reds, the Chicago Bears, or the Toronto Maple Leafs? The answer to that question and more sports will come in the second half of the show. Monty and Beth?
Thanks, James. Creating something beautiful out of wood can be a painstaking task, but for one man, creating unique fishing rods is second nature. We'll see how he's mastered the hobby.
But first, a living will is important for all adults to have. Coming up, a guest will tell us all we need to know about the power of attorney and creating a living will.
Are you a parent looking for childcare? Do you know what good childcare looks like? Do you provide childcare and have questions? Does childcare affect your business? Do you have employees who are concerned about childcare? Doesn't every child deserve quality childcare? Any questions? Call Child Care Resource and Referral.
Your future is waiting at the University of North Dakota College of Business and Public Administration. The technology you need to succeed is available. Education is enhanced through computer labs and interactive video network studios. Students experience real-life situations by being consultants to small businesses. Our students bring innovation and creativity to help clients overcome business challenges. Build your future at UND's College of Business and Public Administration. Phone 1-800-CALL-UND.
Hey, you can get free checking at Community National Bank. Really? Free checking with no service charges, no minimum balance, unlimited check writing. And because Community National Bank cares about you, there's overdraft privilege that can cover your overdrafts up to $600. That helps you manage your funds and saves you time and money. Really? Free checking and overdraft protection from Community National Bank.
Get shopping, get down to basics, perfume, tennis shoes, dollar ring, cereals, wearing it, using it, living it, loving it, gotta get to it.
Everything's new in the spring at Columbia Mall. Fashions and styles, music, and anything just for fun. This spring, get shopping at Columbia Mall. We've got the stores and the styles you want.
Get shopping, Columbia. It's springtime at Columbia.
You're watching Studio One. News, weather, sports, and entertainment.
Your health care is the main focus of a living will. Unfortunately, unplanned things can happen to anyone's health. That's why it's important to be prepared by creating a living will and a power of attorney. Linda Eikman, a social worker, is here today to tell us about what these are and how we can get started on our own. Thanks for joining us today, Linda.
You're very welcome.
So how is a living will different from just a regular will?
And that's a very good question, because a lot of people get those two mixed up. If you ask someone if they have a living will, they almost automatically think of a will. Mm-hmm. A will is something that you and I would make if we wanted to make sure that our loved ones were able to receive the material items that we wanted them to have. So mom gets the organ, my dad gets the whatever amount of money, and so gets the farm. A living will is a directive, a healthcare directive, that tells your family members how you want to be treated if you became terminally ill.
Okay, so it's just strictly on the health side of everything. Okay,
exactly.
So why have one of these? Why have a living will?
And I think, again, that's a good question, because I think a lot of people are asking that. It's in the news all the time. Living wills are talked about a lot now. To me, a living will is really more so a piece of paper that helps you sit down with your family members to discuss how you want yourself to be treated if something happened to you. So really, most of us should have one, because we don't know if we're going to even get home today because we get hit by a car. So if something happened to you and 2 doctors said, this person is terminally ill, how do you want us to take care of her? Do you want her to be connected to this machine? Do you want all these tubes and wires to help keep her alive? And if your family and you have never talked about it, they don't know how to answer that, and you're probably unable to. So this is just really a tool to help your family members know, let's look at Mom's living will and see what she would want.
Okay, so can anyone have one then? I mean, are there any regulations with that?
Absolutely not. You can be any age, there's no age limit. It's really, again, just a tool that you could even use a piece of paper and write down what you think you want.
Okay, well, if someone's interested, how easy is it to make a living will? I mean, I know that you can buy like computer programs, and do it. Is it easy to do?
If you want to do that, you certainly can, but you can get the forms. Really, All True has the forms available. They're very simple. They're all typed up and ready to go, and it's just a matter of really initialing what you want. For instance, something that you might want would be to say, if I'm terminally ill, I do not want to be kept on machines or IVs or feeding tubes.
Okay, so could you give us, you mentioned about whether or not you'd want nutrition. Is that one of the questions then?
Yep.
That you would answer?
You would specify on your living will if you want an IV hooked into you, even though you can't assimilate eating or drinking yourself. Do you want then your healthcare professionals to assimilate that for you, meaning to pump food or water into you if you can't? And most people say, I don't want that. If I can't eat or drink myself and I'm not going to live much longer, I don't want that. I just want to die comfortably.
Okay. What is power of attorney then?
Okay, power of attorney is, again, you really should have both. Okay. And that's something people might do a living will. We really receive only half the amount of power of attorneys that we do of living wills. A power of attorney is another document that's very different that says, if I can't make healthcare decisions for myself, who would I designate to make those for me? And I think that's really important. If you're married, it's usually your spouse. But sometimes, first of all, you might not have a spouse, but second of all, some people don't think their spouses would maybe make a real good decision. So maybe you want one of your children to make that decision for you. But a power of attorney only becomes effective if you cannot answer those questions yourself.
Okay, now it's not required to have both though, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
But does power of attorney, how strong does that hold then, if you want the power of attorney to make sure you withstand the living will, does that guarantee that it will then?
Not necessarily. Your power of attorney, really, if you're not alert and can't answer for yourself, your power of attorney for healthcare, remember too, there's a misconception too, there should be a power of attorney for healthcare, but there's also a power of attorney for finances or business. So you might want someone else to make your business decisions for you, like where should I sell my stocks, or should I, or who should buy my house. That's different than a power of attorney for healthcare. That person only makes healthcare decisions. And they may look at your living will and go, gee, Mom doesn't want to be kept alive, but I want her to be kept alive. But that's why you want to pick the right person.
Okay, and now is it always followed by the family, the living will at least?
Usually. I think mainly, again, what the living will does is allow you and me to sit down and say, Beth, you know what, if something ever happens to me, don't put me on a bunch of machines, because I really don't want that. So you're hoping then that your power of attorney for healthcare will say, Mom didn't want that, we're not going to do that.
Okay, is there a cost for these then?
Nope, they're absolutely free.
Okay.
The forms, we have the forms at All True. You just call up, we'll send you a form, and it's just a matter of getting witnesses to watch you sign it.
Okay, and if people aren't in the area, they can just go to their hospital that they usually go to, and that's okay?
And we've seen, your attorney can draw one up as well. There'd be probably a fee if you went to your attorney, but the forms really are all readily available for you.
Okay, and they're pretty simple too, right?
Very simple.
Okay, well, thanks, Linda. It was great hearing about that information.
Thanks.
Time travel, magic potions, and a lot of adventure takes place in the new movie, Just Visiting. We'll preview that next. But first, it's all in a day's work for these men. We'll see if a sweaty forehead, strong arms, and a knack for stacking is what you need to be a professional mover. That story is next on Studio One.
The University of North Dakota's Division of Continuing Education can help you learn throughout your lifetime. Begin or continue your education through correspondence study, extended degree programs, and extension courses. For your personal or professional growth, we offer conferences as well as courses in dietary management and real estate.
We invite you to contact us at the Division of Continuing Education to discuss your learning opportunities.
Call us or look us up on the World Wide Web.
The University of North Dakota has a rich history of retaining and graduating American Indian students. UND offers 26 American Indian programs, more than any other higher education institution in the U.S. The support services provided by Native American programs enhance student success. Native American programs offer tutoring, academic advising, and financial aid assistance, which makes UND a leader in Indian education. For more information, call 1-800-CALL-UND.
The classes they're great, professors are wonderful. Everything about this university is high quality.
The best thing about UND is that there's so many ways to get involved in the university community, so it really makes it a nice place to be.
Campus is very beautiful. The friendly professors and staff, it really does become a close-knit community.
UND is more than just the college itself. I mean, you learn more than just an education here. They provide so many experiences and opportunities for you that's just incredible.
Some say it is difficult to lift and move their couches and chairs across the room. However, one profession requires moving furniture not only around the house, but around the country. Today we spend a day in the life of a professional mover.
One place people get a workout is at the gym. However, one man gets to work out while he's being paid. Mark Shishke says he loves the physical part of his job as a mover. In a business where strength seems to be the most important trait, Shishke says he has learned a lot.
Lots of different tricks, like how to get couches and stuff in and out of houses, and little tricks on packing and stuff like that, what fits well here or there, how to load the trailer real well, like what size will fit here and there.
Shishke says it takes time and energy to move all of someone's stuff. He also says being a mover isn't just loading and unloading the truck.
Get rid of everything they don't want to be sent with us then in the moving van and stuff like that, and then the next step would be to have us come in and pack or have them pack themselves too. And that can take anywhere from a couple hours to almost a week long to pack up, and then it's inventoried and then loaded on the truck after that.
Shishke says he likes to interact with the customers. However, sometimes they can be a little overwhelming.
Tell them to stay back just a little ways, because I've had that where people have been right over my shoulder before and you keep running into them. I just tell them, can you please just back up just a little bit? I'll bring you a chair, you can sit here and watch me pack all your glassware. Just kind of stay out of my way, just stay off my back.
Shishke says some things do get broken while packing and shipping, but the customer is reimbursed as quickly as possible. This is Corey Morlock, reporting for Studio One.
Shishke says lifting is a big part of his job, but the best thing you can do is to wear comfortable shoes. He also says stretching and staying in shape is very important in his job. Wizards, a French nobleman, and modern-day Chicago are all a part of Christina Applegate's latest film. Just Visiting is an American retelling of the 1993 French comedy Les Visiteurs. A wizard's flawed time travel potion transports a nobleman and a servant from the 12th century. Confused and overwhelmed, they meet Applegate's character and her scheming fiancé. The Frenchmen wreak havoc on present-day Americans. Applegate says that working with co-star Jean Reno was a delight.
Jean as a person is just extraordinary. He's always happy, even when it's hot, even when it's, things are maybe, going slow or whatever, he's always happy.
The movie was shot in both Chicago and England. The producers needed locations with castles and exquisite landscapes. Just Visiting opens nationwide on April 6th. Now time to look at the events happening in your area.
A high school student from Ohio says he has the right to wear a certain t-shirt to school. The student was told his t-shirt was offensive by school officials. His choices were to turn it inside out or change it, or leave and be considered truant. The student left saying the school violated his constitutional rights. He took the matter to the Supreme Court and lost. We wanted your thoughts on the lawsuit.
We need more respect in our society, and I believe the schools should have some restrictions on that.
I understand this is the U.S. of A, you know, and in order to be able to talk about freedom, we should be able to, you know, stand on the street corner and watch the guy down the street burn the American flag, you know, and be able to contend with that.
There was a shirt I wanted to wear, and the school said I couldn't. I don't know, I'd end up wearing it anyways if I got in trouble for it or not.
Yes, I do think the school should be able to dictate what, you know, is going around the campuses.
For the school to step in and say, no, you can't wear that, I think it's almost based more on the parent. The parent should step in and say, hey kid, you know, are you really going to wear that to school? Because I don't want you to.
He lives in a town called Fisher. His name is Rod, and he makes fishing rods. An ironic name starts the story of a man in love with his hobby.
Rod Engel is a colorful character with two passions in life,
well,
fishing and building the rods you need to go fishing. Rod works out of a small basement studio, handcrafting fishing rods. His personalized rods have gained a large following over the years.
It started out pretty slow, and as the word got out and different people used them and liked them, recommended them, I've just been making quite a few more as time goes on.
Rod makes the fishing rods in a variety of sizes, styles, and colors. He has crafted rods out of everything from walnut wood to an elk's antler. Rod is rather modest about his knowledge and talent in the business, but if you pay close attention, you may catch a glimpse of pride behind that gruff exterior.
You could jack up the garage with that guy.
Rod spends a lot of time in his basement building rods to keep up with all the orders he receives. When he does have some spare time, there is no question where he will end up.
Yeah, I do a lot of fishing. Unfortunate that my wife likes to fish as much as I do. So she kind of understands my passion for this sort of thing.
Rod has found the perfect hobby. He spends his time doing what he loves. His satisfying days of retirement and his handcrafted fishing rods have one thing in common.
Can't buy one of them in the store.
With photographer Adam Caskey, this is Kelly Anderson reporting for Studio One.
Rod gets many special orders for his unique fishing rods through email. The email system allows Rod to cater to his international customers who span the globe from Portugal to Australia. Many people enjoy traveling, but without guidance when planning your agenda, your experience may be ruined. We will offer you some advice to make your trips run smoothly. Plus, we'll see how one woman's art and teachings gave inspiration. That story plus news, sports, and the updated weather forecast in the next half hour of Studio One.
Future a bit cloudy? Get a brighter picture at UND Aerospace and the University of North Dakota. World-class training programs endorsed by major airlines, an extraordinary fleet of aircraft, and learning facilities second to none make UND Aerospace the largest collegiate aviation program in North America. Begin your future in the aviation industry. Explore programs in space studies or computer science. Soar into the atmospheric sciences. It's all here at UND Aerospace. What's in your future? UND Aerospace, clearly the leader in aviation education.
The School of Law at the University of North Dakota. This is a unique place, a place where you can learn with some of the best technology, where you can talk to the faculty in small class settings, a place where student activity groups enhance your education, a place which offers interaction with the court system, an affordable place where you can gain all the skills you need to get a job. Take your place at the University of North Dakota School of Law. Phone 1-800-CALL UND.
School of Engineering Minds is we're kind of one close-knit community. Everybody's friendly. You're not just, a name in the crowd or a number.
I've always wanted to do engineering. What we're learning here is just hands-on.
The department has been very good about
acquiring the resources we need.
I think that through this project I've gained a lot of the team working skills, leadership.
A campus that supports a wide range of degrees gives you a nice ability to round out your education in a variety of areas.
Students from any major can build a great future through the entrepreneurship programs in the College of Business and Public Administration at the University of North Dakota.
It lets them meet with business people and spread their wings and do the research to see if their ideas really do work.
Well, this program is for everybody. Business coincides and integrates with any major out there.
Trust yourself. Take action. Discover the entrepreneurship programs at the UND College of Business and Public Administration.
You're watching Studio One. News, weather, sports, and entertainment.
Hello and welcome back to Studio One.
Thanks for joining us today. Well, university campuses are always trying to figure out ways to make their campuses more safe. And there's a couple of researchers at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and they've received a patent for a special device that's a really small, it's like jewelry. And actually what it is someone can wear it, and if they're in trouble, they can activate it somehow. And what it does is it uses satellite technology, the same stuff that NATO used in the Gulf War, to tell the police station where the emergency is, exactly, pinpoint where it is. There's also a microphone in it, a really small microphone. It'll let you listen to the crime scene as it's happening.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
High tech.
High tech safety.
Do you know how much it costs?
I have no, well, they haven't made it yet. They're figuring out how to do this, and they got the patent ready, and they're actually looking for a company to do the prototype. So
wow.
If you know anybody who makes that kind of stuff,
yeah,
let them know. Coming up in the next 30 minutes on Studio One, many universities offer training for students who someday want a career in the military. We'll tell you about one such program that has been named the best in the nation.
And one woman took clay from the earth and made it valuable. We'll see how her pottery classes became lessons for life.
And suggestions can be very helpful when traveling. We'll talk with a travel agent and get some suggestions on great getaways. But first, today's news with Molly Ouimet.
Thank you, Monty and Beth. Clashes flared in Gaza as Israelis and Palestinians continue their battle. Yasser Arafat ordered Israel to launch a 100-day siege against Palestinians and vows the Palestinian response will continue. Bush is urging the Middle East to stand against violence and is calling for restraint on both sides.
The tragic cycle of incitement, provocation, and violence has gone on far too long. Both sides must take important steps to calm the situation now.
Earlier today, President Bush met with German Chancellor Gerhard Schroeder for the first time. Bush and Schroeder discussed the Kyoto Treaty on global warming, which is supposed to curb greenhouse gases. Bush said the treaty is not in the best interest of the United States. Schroeder supports the Kyoto Treaty, but Bush hopes to reassure him that there are other ways to reduce greenhouse gases. Pets often can suffer when there is abuse in the home. The Humane Society says there is a link between cruelty to animals and domestic violence. It is especially hard for children in these situations. They will often respond to abusive situations by mistreating their own pets. Hundreds of abused animals in the U.S. are brought into shelters each day. The Humane Society says it can be difficult to determine whether the pet has been abused or is shy.
Yeah, there are a number of animals that come in here that are very timid, and they do appear as though at some point they've been struck.
The Humane Society is working with the police and social services in order to educate them about the problem. The police hope this will lead to more success in domestic abuse and animal cruelty cases. A group of engineers in California will soon be creating a new generation of spy satellites. The high-tech satellites will be harder to detect and will operate farther out in space than current satellites. They will work in darkness or cloud cover and will be designed to take pictures of military compounds anywhere in the world. The new satellites will also pick up more images and linger in space longer than current probes. The total cost of the project is estimated to be about $25 billion. The satellites could be in space by 2005. Some college students are doing more than just schoolwork. The Air Force Reserve Training Course offers a college degree and much more. A one-ROTC program is gaining national recognition for its efforts.
Liz.
The University of North Dakota and North Dakota State University have recently been named as having the nation's best Air Force ROTC program. A commander of the ROTC program at the UND wing says that these students have an advantage because of their upbringing.
We have a lot of kids that come from either rural backgrounds, farming backgrounds, the Midwestern work ethic, where they come here, they want to work hard, and they really have a great attitude.
They'll start with support in wartime. They'll be deployed with troops.
One member says the classroom work alone teaches students outstanding skills that they can apply anywhere in life. Instructors say it helps the students learn about the Air Force in a less threatening environment.
We're not going around telling our cadets, if they do something wrong, drop and give me 20.
We'll speed up. It'll be a lot less cheap.
The students here also take part in an annual operational readiness inspection program to test their skills. Not all of these tasks are as demanding as others.
Throwing a rifle with a very sharp edge on the very front, it definitely takes a lot of concentration, and it's very physical as well. If you're not focusing on what you're doing, you're going to get hurt, you're going to get cut.
Steps for failure. We wouldn't be able to advance as a society.
Teamwork is the glue that holds this ROTC detachment together. One senior member of the program says right from the start, he found it to be a close-knit community.
What they didn't tell me was not to lock my knees while standing in formation, and I wound up passing out because of that, and just immediately, I didn't even hit the ground. People behind me held me up and sat me down and got me water, and someone hopped into place and took my position right away.
The students say it's that kind of teamwork that helped them become the top program of its kind. Although the program gives students a foot in the door in becoming an Air Force officer, it also provides college students with a degree in a major of their choice. And that is news for today. Monty and Beth?
Thanks a lot, Molly. Well, if I was standing in formation, locked my knees and passed out, would you catch me?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'll have to think about it. I'll tell you later. Well, let's go once again to the Regional Weather Information Center with Adam Caskey.
Well, right now we're looking off the roof of Odegaard Hall here at UND, looking at the new Alaris Center right here. But in terms of weather, it's pretty ugly out there. Mostly cloudy skies and quite a bit of haze. We're actually at a temperature of 38 degrees right now. Dew point of 32, still a lot of humidity in the air, 97%. Pressure is, well, on the rise, 29.88 inches right now. Let's talk forecast. Saturday, weak cold front's going to slide through our area, but really all it's going to do is trigger a few scattered showers. Most of the rain will be situated throughout Minnesota and this green shaded area here from Wisconsin down through Iowa and even on into Kansas, just clipping Oklahoma down there. As for Sunday, the low is going to nudge off to the east just enough to start clearing our skies on the backside of it. High pressure dominating over the Rockies. Here's a look at your weekend. Basically, we'll see a warming trend from Friday on through Monday, and there is a chance of precip from Friday through Sunday. And by Monday, we could tip the scales at 50 degrees, but only time will tell. Monty and Beth?
All right, thanks, Adam. Well, you called it. We're going to get the showers.
I hope so. Hey, you just made my weekend. Well, let's go now to sports news with James DeGelder.
Thanks, Monty and Beth. A blind hit or cheap shot during a game could seriously injure any hockey player. That is why youth hockey has a no-free checking rule. This means kids younger than 11 years old in hockey leagues cannot engage in full body contact.
Parents watching their little kids get pushed around on the ice can bring the worry of injury. The no-free checking rule lets the parents watch their little ones play hockey without getting smashed into the boards. One youth hockey coach says one of the main concerns with checking is the safety of the kids.
At that young age, what we're trying to encourage and trying to develop our good hockey skills. And we want them to be good skaters, we want them to be good puck handlers, we want them to be good passers and good shooters.
When kids turn 11, they can enter the Pee Wee level. There they are taught by their coaches how to check the proper way. The coordinator for a youth hockey program in Grand Forks, North Dakota, says most players and parents are comfortable with the no-free checking rule. He says some parents even keep their kids out of Pee Wees for a year because they believe they are still too small to be checking.
I just think that at the Pee Wee level, I think that you can have checking, but again, it's teaching the kids what the concept of checking is about and why it's there and what the main purpose is there. It's not there to hurt players.
Serious or minor injuries can happen at all levels of hockey. One athletic trainer says there is just more concern at the younger levels because kids are not as knowledgeable with the seriousness of injuries.
I think that really the only difference between older kids checking and the younger ones would maybe be the growth plate injuries.
It's for that reason the no free checking rule is in place in youth hockey, and that can give concerned parents some peace of mind.
The USA Hockey Rules Committee will soon be deciding whether or not to start Pee-wees at age 10 instead of 11. This would leave an uncertainty as to when checking would be allowed. Now it's time for the answer to this week's Studio One Sports Trivia question. The question is, what is the oldest professional sports team? Is it the Montreal Canadiens, the Cincinnati Reds, the Chicago Bears, or the Toronto Maple Leafs? The answer is B, the Cincinnati Reds. They were organized all the way back in 1869, where they were known as the Cincinnati Red Stockings. That's the sports for today. Monty and Beth.
Thank you, James. There are many different travel destinations to fit your budget. Later on, we will get some helpful tips from a travel agent.
Plus, clay pots stamped with the seal School of Mines have become cherished pieces of art. This is because of a kind woman who taught life's lessons through ceramics. That story is next on Studio One.
Let the University of North Dakota become your strategic partner by providing your business, industry, or organization with our workforce development services. Our experts work closely with you to diagnose the workforce development needs of your business and develop practical solutions for your organization. The Office of Workforce Development has extensive experience in strategic planning, workforce surveys, training plan development, and grant writing. Workforce Development, a service of the University of North Dakota. Call 777-2313.
The University of North Dakota has a rich history of retaining and graduating American Indian students. UND offers 26 American Indian programs, more than any other higher education institution in the U.S. The support services provided by Native American programs enhance student success. Native American programs offer tutoring, academic advising, and financial aid assistance, which makes UND a leader in Indian education. For more information, call 1-800-CALL-UND.
What do you want to accomplish? How does the future look? Do you have goals? We have goals. They involve serving students, faculty, the community, and society. Our reputation depends on how well we teach our students. We want to equip you for success. Are you ready to succeed? The University of North Dakota's College of Business and Public Administration is ready to help build your future. Phone 1-800-CALL-UND.
The School of Law at the University of North Dakota. This is a unique place, a place where you can learn with some of the best technology, where you can talk to the faculty in small class settings, a place where student activity groups enhance your education, a place which offers interaction with the court system, an affordable place where you can gain all the skills you need to get a job. Take your place at the University of North Dakota School of Law. Phone 1-800-CALL-UND.
You're watching Studio One, twice named the best college television show in the nation by the National Association of College Broadcasters.
Margaret Kelly Cable was a nationally known clay artist, teacher, and researcher at the University of North Dakota. Because of her artistic skills, the years from 1910 to 1949 are now considered the golden age of UND pottery.
At first glance, the ceramic studio at the University of North Dakota looks like any other. Pottery wheels hum, kilns burn brightly, and the dust-covered shelves are full of works in progress. But there is more beneath the surface here, for North Dakota pottery has a rich history. Ceramics professor Don Miller does more than just teach. He works to carry on a tradition. He has devoted much of his time to researching the early years of the ceramics department and the woman who would be remembered as the heart and soul of UND pottery. The ceramics department was the brainchild of Earl Babcock, an enthusiastic and energetic chemistry instructor. Babcock was interested in making use of North Dakota's natural resources, one of which was clay. In 1910, he persuaded the university to begin a ceramics department. They hired a woman by the name of Margaret Kelly Cable. Cable was originally from Crookston, Minnesota, and trained with the Handicraft Guild of Minneapolis. At the University of North Dakota, she proved to be the right person at the right time.
She was an excellent researcher, and she had
wonderful people kind of supporting her.
But it was her charismatic teaching style that made the program such a success.
It was her enthusiasm. She had a way of drawing people to her. She was just it was like a magnetic force almost.
Researchers say that Cable was a storyteller. She wove the idea of change, of clay as a metaphor for life, into her classes. Her approach was a huge success with the women of that era, reaching beyond the university and into the community. Cable became known as the Lady of the Wheel. Her many lectures and demonstrations led her to be recognized as North Dakota's outstanding woman in 1927. The Cable years were a highly productive and creative period. During this time, the style of pottery evolved from Art Deco to pieces with regional North Dakota themes. Today, the university has more than 900 pieces from the Cable era, many of them on permanent display. For many of these pieces, their value was not immediately recognized. When Don Miller began teaching at UND in 1970, the ceramics department tried to sell many old pots from the Cable era.
We put prices on those things of, they were nice-sized pieces, you know, like this for $8, $10, $12, and nobody buy them.
Today, pieces stamped with the blue School of Mines seal have become very popular with collectors and are worth up to $15,000.
Even small, seemingly unimportant pieces of pottery are now worth a good deal of money. These curtain poles originally sold for 25 cents. Today, they're worth up to $100 each.
As the demand for Cable pottery grows, many people are discovering they own pieces of history.
I can't tell you how many times people have called me and said, well, Grandma had some pieces like that. I wonder if brother so-and-so has them. And then we'll go to their attic or their basement, and sure enough, there it is.
The research in North Dakota clays ended soon after Cable's retirement in 1949. But ceramics classes at UND continued, eventually moving to the art department. While the studio has changed, and the pottery itself is no longer made from native clay, the spirit of Margaret Kelly Cable lives on in North Dakota, with each new student that discovers the satisfaction of creating something of their own out of clay. For Studio One, I'm Kelly Franson.
Cable was also responsible for the research of high-quality clays from North Dakota. She put them to such practical uses as sewer tile, porcelain insulators, and of course, pottery. Planning your vacation is not the only thing our next guest can do. Many other details can be taken care of at her fingertips. We'll talk with the travel agent next.
The University of North Dakota's Division of Continuing Education can help you learn throughout your lifetime. Begin or continue your education through correspondence study, extended degree programs, and extension courses. For your personal or professional growth, we offer conferences as well as courses in dietary management and real estate.
We invite you to contact us at the Division of Continuing Education to discuss your learning opportunities.
Call us or look us up on the World Wide Web.
School of Engineering Mines we're kind of one close-knit community. Everybody's friendly. You're not just, a name in the crowd or a number.
I've always wanted to do engineering. What we're learning here is just hands-on.
The department has been very good about acquiring the resources we need.
I think that through this project I've gained a lot of the team-working skills, leadership.
A campus that supports a wide range of degrees gives you a nice ability to round out your education in a variety of areas.
I think the quality of education that I have received has been absolutely phenomenal.
I really believe that UND has a lot for a lot of different people.
It's a beautiful campus, it's a wonderful town, and I just really liked everything that UND offered to me.
Future a bit cloudy? Get a brighter picture at UND Aerospace and the University of North Dakota. World-class training programs endorsed by major airlines, an extraordinary fleet of aircraft, and learning facilities second to none make UND Aerospace the largest collegiate aviation program in North America. Begin your future in the aviation industry. Explore programs in space studies or computer science. Soar into the atmospheric sciences. It's all here at UND Aerospace. What's in your future? UND Aerospace, clearly the leader in aviation education.
Many people look forward to planning their next vacation, although it's been said that Americans have the least amount of vacation time. Travel agent Bonnie Rygg-Haley will give us tips on how to make our few days of traveling the most fulfilling. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, first of all, what got you interested in starting up a business of travel agency?
Well, I did a little bit of traveling in high school, and I got a taste of traveling and figured that's what I wanted to do for my career.
Do you travel a lot now?
I do travel quite a bit, as much as possible. I do have 3 small boys at home, so since I've had children, it hasn't been as often as it was prior.
Where have you gone? Is it easier to go places when you're a travel agent? You know where to go?
Yes. Well, actually, every year we take our family to Ixtapa in Mexico. We've gone for the last 7 consecutive years. That's a wonderful destination for families and couples. I have traveled to Asia, to Europe, throughout the U.S., and Hawaii.
Does that help you as a travel agent, going to these different places?
It definitely does. We can give firsthand information to our clients, telling them where to stay, things to do while they're there, restaurants to go to. We can give them a lot of good firsthand information.
Well, give me an example of your typical client, somebody that walks in.
Okay. We have a big variety of clients. We have some clients that are just looking for an airline ticket. We have some that are looking for a Mediterranean cruise. And we have everything in the middle. So we're a full-service travel agency. We can arrange the airline ticket, cars, hotels, cruises, tours. We can get you anywhere you want to go.
And how far can you get into the details of planning somebody's vacation?
Well, with the internet, that has really helped. It's a great library to give a lot more detailed information. So that definitely helps, and we will go as far as the client needs us to.
Okay. Now, what are some tips? This is the big thing that we really want to get today, is what are some tips for us when we're planning a vacation?
Well, I definitely recommend going through a travel agency because we are the only form of non-biased information. What I mean by that is we check every airline at our fingertips for the best price. We have access to all the charter information. We use consolidators for international travel. We've got every chain of hotel to choose from, as well as bed and breakfasts. We can search for the best price on a car rental. To do that yourself, it would take a lot of time to call each airline, each car rental. So we have it at our fingertips, and I guess I would highly recommend that they call a travel agency. That's one tip that I would give.
Yeah, and you had mentioned that you do work with the internet, and there's sometimes now people at home on the internet can try and plan their vacation that way too. Do you suggest doing that?
Well, I guess some of our clients have gone that way, maybe for a one-time thing. The thing about booking it on the internet, there's not a lot of customer service if you have to make a change or if you have to cancel your reservation. And we're always there. We always have that customer service to go along with whatever they're booking with us.
Has that changed the way you do things? I mean, you obviously have a lot more information at your fingertips, as you said, with the internet. But now that the internet does have that service where there are travel agents online where you don't see anyone, has that changed the way you do things as a travel agent?
It has. In a way, we focus more on vacations. I think the people that are using the internet are mainly booking airline tickets. They're not booking that cruise or that lifetime vacation. I think they're coming to us for that.
Okay. Now, what is the best time of year to book a flight to go on a vacation?
Well, depending on when you're going. They run sales very often. We have a service that if you are looking to travel and are waiting for a sale, you can call us with your name and phone number, and we will call you when there is a sale for the time frame that you're looking at. So I guess it just depends where and when you're going, and that would determine when you should book.
And you mentioned sales, and every once in a while you'll be at work and somebody will send you an anonymous fax saying that there's this great cruise getaway, $300 for 7 days. And it's hard to trust those things sometimes, but what about those sort of things, those things that people send out to businesses? Are those valid?
Well, you got to keep in mind you get what you pay for. And I guess we have heard a lot of horror stories about those particular faxes. I recommend going to a reputable travel agency, and you will definitely get a great vacation.
Okay. Well, let's say I wanted to go on a great vacation today or within the week. Around this time of the month, where's a good place to go that you could do fairly inexpensively?
Well, right now we're coming to the end of the charter season for the seasonal destinations such as Mexico and the Caribbean. So the flights that haven't filled up for traveling in the next week or two are at a discount. And now is a great time to get in on those if you want to travel by mid-April. There's not a whole lot of time left, but you can get some great deals right now.
Good. Well, thanks a lot for coming on and giving us a few tips, and hopefully we'll help our viewers as well.
Okay.
Thanks, Bonnie.
Thank you.
You're watching Studio One from the University of North Dakota. We'll be back right after this.
Are you a parent looking for childcare? Do you know what good childcare looks like? Do you provide childcare and have questions? Does childcare affect your business? Do you have employees who are concerned about childcare? Doesn't every child deserve quality childcare? Any questions? Call Child Care Resource and Referral.
Voller Insurance partners with you in protecting what matters most. For more than 50 years, Voller has built its reputation on its people, its clients, and a commitment to VIP service. Voller Insurance, Fargo, Bismarck, Grand Forks. Voller Insurance understands that the strength of its people is its greatest asset. People that tailor insurance protection that meets your needs. That's the key to VIP service. Voller Insurance, Fargo, Bismarck, Grand Forks.
Get shopping, get down to basics. Perfume, tennis shoes, dollar ring, cereals. Wearing it, using it, living it, loving it. Gotta get to it.
Everything's new in the spring at Columbia Mall. Fashions and styles, music, and anything just for fun. This spring, get shopping at Columbia Mall. We've got the stores and the styles you want.
Get shopping, Columbia. It's springtime at Columbia.
Now that NSP has become Xcel Energy, you'll be seeing a whole lot more of us. In fact, we're building our business on the same values you believe in, like honesty, courtesy, and loyalty. Xcel Energy. We're more than a name change. We're your new energy company.
Tune in next week on Studio One. We'll show you the exciting sport of snowcross racing. Plus, we'll give you the rundown on what is happening in entertainment and news.
Well, we're going to leave you now with some pictures of monster trucks. You ever see monster trucks?
I have. I've seen them.
Really?
It's exciting.
Live?
Very loud.
Very loud. Well, from all of us here at Studio One, have a great week.